There will be an impeachment trial in the United States Senate. And if the president is convicted, there will be a vote on barring him from running again.
On January 13th, 2021, the House of Representatives voted to impeach Donald Trump, making him the first president in U.S. history to be impeached twice. The article of impeachment states that Trump incited an insurrection, citing his role in the siege on the Capitol on January 6th.
Going to try and give them the kind of pride and boldness that they need to take back our country.
But experts say that Trump's harmful rhetoric started well before the rally.
It wasn't just January 6th that caused what happened. It was the days, the weeks, the months leading up to it.
So how has Trump's rhetoric since the election led to this historic impeachment? And if he's convicted by the Senate, what could it mean for a president who is no longer in office?
Being impeached twice is not something you put on your resume. Impeachment was put into the Constitution by the founders as a very critical check against abuse of power by the executive, by the president.
Impeachment is when the House of Representatives files charges against a sitting official. These charges have to fall under the categories of treason, bribery, or high crimes and misdemeanors.
It's not written in the Constitution what it means to be a high crime and misdemeanor, but what the founders meant and what Congress has done ever since is to say, yes, most important, there needs to be abuse of power, abuse of office. There have been 4 presidents who faced serious impeachment moves. Andrew Johnson, he was charged with illegally firing a cabinet official. Then there was Richard Nixon. He was charged with breaking federal criminal law. Nixon resigned from office before he was certain to be impeached and convicted. Then there was Bill Clinton, who was impeached in 1998. He was charged with lying in a civil deposition in a lawsuit. In Trump's first impeachment, he put pressure on a foreign leader to try to smear Joe Biden and his family for political gain. That was something he did using the tools of power that a president has.
The new article of impeachment states that Trump participated in high crimes and misdemeanors, asserting that his efforts to overturn the election influenced the violence in Washington on January 6th and was a betrayal of his trust as president.
It's not like Donald Trump just got up to the podium on January 6th, and that was the only time that he attacked the electoral process. He'd been doing it for weeks. He did it on election night.
We were getting ready to win this election. Frankly, we did win this election.
This election was rigged. This election was a total fraud.
They're trying to convince us that we lost. We didn't lose. They found a lot of ballots, to be nice about it, and they got rid of some too.
The president and his Twitter account were running amok for the weeks after the election, constantly saying that it was rigged, it was stolen. We need to tell them we're not going to take it anymore. The snowball just rolled down the hill and got bigger and bigger.
All I want to do is this. I just want to find 11,780 votes, which is one more than we have, because we won the state.
Those of you that know how badly screwed we got, I want to be clear that we can't let that happen again. We're going to walk down Pennsylvania Avenue. I love Pennsylvania Avenue. And we're going to the Capitol. We fight like hell. And if you don't fight like hell, you're not going to have a country anymore.
It was Donald Trump's drumbeat. It just so happened that it all just exploded on one day.
The basic fact is he summoned a mob and sent them to the Capitol. And if that isn't impeachable, it's kind of hard to think of what is.
The article of impeachment was voted for by 222 House Democrats and 10 House Republicans, the most bipartisan impeachment in history.
In the first impeachment, things fell very sharply along partisan lines, as they have in recent years. When Bill Clinton was impeached, pretty much the same thing happened. This time, the members of Congress of both parties had just fled for their lives. They were rattled, they were angry, and he was still in the White House, and they felt they needed to do something.
To allow the President of the United States to incite this attack without consequences is a direct threat to the future of this democracy.
On January 25th, the House delivered an article of impeachment to the Senate to move forward with a vote to convict the former president. After the House votes for impeachment, where it only needs a majority vote to pass, they will then present the charges in a trial before the Senate, where each side makes their arguments and witnesses may be called. Then the Senate votes for conviction, where it needs 2/3 of the vote to pass. No president to date has been convicted. In a normal impeachment trial, if the Senate does not vote to convict, the president is acquitted and retains their office. If the Senate does vote to convict, the sitting president would automatically be removed from office. But this trial will have a marked difference from past impeachments. It will be the first that the president being impeached is no longer in office.
It's going to be about the constitutionality. Does the Constitution believe that a former president can be impeached and then tried by the Senate? It's never been tested before.
It has happened before, though not with presidents. And the vast weight of expertise and constitutional scholars say, yes, you can do impeachment for abuse of office, even after the person has been removed from office by the voters. It's good to know, too, the House of Representatives voted to impeach while Trump was still president. It's just the Senate didn't begin the trial until now.
If Trump is convicted, the consequences will look different than they would for a typical conviction.
He would be the first president to be convicted by the Senate in American history, but he wouldn't be removed from office because the voters already did that. It takes another vote by the Senate to bar him from running for office again. That, however, only requires 51 votes.
There are other possible consequences, too. They could pass resolutions to strip him of his post-presidency benefits, his Secret Service protection, but that would be another step the Senate would need to take. That's not an instant thing.
If Trump is not convicted in the Senate, Democrats may look into other options to bar him from further holding office.
The separate language in the 14th Amendment, which says if you've engaged specifically in insurrection, that you can't be in the Congress or be president. There's the possibility of censure, which is a lesser punishment, but which would put everybody on the record as opposing violent insurrection. And of course, there's the potential for criminal prosecution.
Even out of office, Trump continues to push his claims of election fraud. Sources told ABC News that his legal team quit a week before the trial because Trump wanted them to argue his false claims, rather than focus on the constitutionality of the trial.
Quite frankly, what January 6th has done to Donald Trump is that when his obituary is written someday, that's going to be the first line. That Donald Trump refused to accept defeat, was the only president to be impeached twice in American history after inciting a riot that destroyed Capitol Hill. That's going to be Donald Trump's legacy in a lot of ways.